to try to make sense of all this news coming out of Pakistan. We're joined tonight from Washington by Arif Rafiq. He's with the World Politics Review. Mr. Rafiq, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
We just saw that disturbing video out of the Taliban-controlled Swat region in Pakistan. There's growing talk about negotiating with the Taliban. What do you think? We'll see more of these kinds of scenes if some kind of accommodation is reached with the Taliban?
Well, it's unclear as to whether the deal, whether the incident occurred after the peace deal that was forged between the local Taliban and the federal government. So it's not necessarily an indication that the Taliban have been emboldened by compromises made by the federal government. But what is clear is that the Taliban will likely, pursue a campaign to Talibanize or make the areas under their control or areas in which they don't have severe opposition from the federal government and the locals, that they'll make these areas further Talibanized or marked by a greater or more severe version of Islam.
But that's a tough spot for U.S. policy, if indeed you could see more images like this coming home to roost, with our general policy being, well, we're going to let them do what they have to do in their own region.
Yes. It might be a Faustian bargain, or it could be a sort of arrangement in which the United States comes to terms with the effective Taliban rule over these areas, as long as it doesn't blow back into the United States, as long as these areas don't serve as safe havens for entities that would like to attack regional states or even the United States and Western Europe.
So we'll step back a little bit. Richard Holbrooke is working here to engage the entire region in essentially stabilizing Afghanistan. What do you think? What came out of his trip to Pakistan?
Well, he incurred a good degree of opposition or resistance from the Pakistani establishment. Richard Holbrooke visited Pakistan for the major purpose of getting the military and the intelligence services to reduce or even completely eliminate its support for Afghan Taliban forces that engage in attacks against the Afghan government and coalition forces inside Afghanistan. But the Pakistani government, and in particular the military intelligence establishment, put up a good fight, and it's going to be difficult for the Pakistani government to let go of these individuals who they regard as assets because they deem Afghanistan as part of its area of strategic depth.
Well, briefly now, what do you think the next steps are for the Obama administration's policy to the entire region?
Well, they're going to have to keep on pursuing the Pakistani government and get it to make some sort of accommodation vis-a-vis the Afghan Taliban, and at least induce them toward coming to the bargaining table and coming to terms with some sort of reconciliation inside Afghanistan.
Well, Mr. Rafiq, thank you very much.
Thank you.